My boyfriend was craving birria tacos, so I had to stop him from spending money on takeout and said, "We have birria tacos at home." We didn't have it at the time, so I learned how to make them. I couldn't find all of the peppers for the typical birria taco recipe, so I had to improvise with ingredients I could find in the local store. The video description below will include all the ingredients and amounts that I'm using. I started by cutting up chuck roast pieces. I cut each piece into 4 strips and then cut those 4 to 5 pieces each. Then I started working on dried peppers. I deseeded all of them because this is what you're supposed to be doing if you don't want to be chewing on them, and trust me, you don't want to be chewing on them. I removed the tops, cut the peppers open, and removed the seeds, then I soaked them in hot water while I browned up the meat in my favorite blue pot. I added salt and pepper to the meat and mix well before cooking it in batches. What I would do differently next time is cook it at a higher temperature than medium because I kind of boiled the meat instead of searing it. At least I got some extra beef broth for the stew. While the meat was cooking, I chopped onion, garlic cloves, and quartered the tomatoes for the sauce. After I finished the second batch of the beef, I added all the sauce ingredients to the same pot, and after the onion turned golden brown, I added all of the spices. After another good mix, I added pit peppers. A lot of mixing in the recipe and extra steps that will be all worth it in the end. I put all the pot ingredients into the blender and blended them all together. Meanwhile, I added beef broth and gave it another good mix to blend all the flavors stuck at the bottom. Then I added the sauce, which took a while to blend. I added some hot water because it was a bit thick and didn't want to come out. After, I added 2 batches of the cooked meat. All of the leftover liquid also went into the pot along with the leftover sauce. I ensured a blender was squeaky clean because I was not wasting food. Finally, I added 2 bay leaves and cooked the meat at the low heat, I think about 4 hours. After it was ready, it was dinner time, so I shredded all the meat pieces and put them back into the sauce. My main mistake was not adding hot water into the pot, so I would have a dipping sauce. Still, after shredding all the meat and turning it to the pot, I was so hungry and it smelled so good. My boyfriend and I decided to eat it with rice and added some extra cheese for a cheesy flavor. But I still remember about the promised birria tacos. The next day, we invited some friends over, so I quickly warmed up the meat to cook with tortillas. I didn't want to make tortillas from scratch, and I personally avoid gluten due to my thyroid disorder, so I was glad to find corn tortillas at a store with ingredients as simple as corn, water, salt, and lime. And all organic too. How awesome is that? They turned out to be a bit soggy, but I had never cooked with corn tortillas before, so I should have cooked it at a high temperature rather than medium. Another lesson learned. My boyfriend said the flavor was good, but the presentation was lacking. I will definitely make more birria tacos in the future and see how I can perfect the recipe. Do you have any suggestions? Leave a comment below. I would appreciate your help.